Hi, everyone. Welcome back to God's Whispers, a place where we take the time to pause and reflect on the word of the Lord. Today I'm going to be speaking about the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 3, verses 31 through 35. Jesus is teaching inside a house. It's crowded, so crowded that people can't even get through the door. Let's listen. The mother of Jesus and his brothers arrived at the house. Standing outside, they sent word to Jesus and called him. A crowd seated around him told him, "Your mother and your brother and your sisters are outside asking for you." But he said to them in reply, "Who are my mother and my brothers?" And looking around at those seated in the circle, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of God is my brother, sister, and mother." In the first century Jewish culture, family wasn't just important, it was everything. It was your identity, your protection, your social standing. Your future was tied directly to your family line. At this point in Mark's gospel, the tension is already building. Just before this passage, the religious leaders were accusing Jesus of being possessed. His family, we were told earlier, is worried about him and think he may be losing control. So when Jesus speaks these words, he's not rejecting his family, but he is redefining what family means. He is saying that belonging in God's kingdom is not limited by bloodline or background. It's shaped by a relationship, by listening, responding, and remaining open to God. This is early in Mark's gospel from what I was researching. It's before the cross, it's before the resurrection, and Jesus is already forming a new kind of community, one that's not built on status or closeness, but a shared trust in God. So, how does that help us today? Many of us might be wondering, where do we truly belong? We measure ourselves by approval, by roles, by expectations, and Jesus gently interrupts that anxiety. He doesn't say, "Prove yourself." He doesn't say, "Earn your place." What he does say is, you belong with God. Doing the will of God isn't about perfection. It's about openness and listening and choosing love over and over. So when he looks at the people seated around him, just regular, ordinary people, and says, "This is my family," that invitation still stands for all of us. So journal prompts that would go along with this passage would be, where do I usually look for belonging and approval? And what emotions might come up when I hear Jesus say that I belong to God's family? And are there ways that I've assumed I was outside of God's circle? And then finally, what might it look like this week to just simply sit near Jesus, to listen rather than striving? I hope that this message was encouraging to you, and if you give it a like, that would let me know that you also agree with this message. Share it with a friend and subscribe so you can continue to hear God's whispers.